Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now is, right, a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I
filed my return,
but I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
There are so many questions tonight. Well, joining us now to talk about all of this is the great spokesperson with the National Police Association. She's a retired Chicago area police officer. And also, she was a hostage negotiator who received training from the FBI. So joining us again is Sergeant Betsy Brantner Smith. Betsy, it's so great to have you. Just your take on all of these new developments just in the last few hours in this case.
Well, Rita, starting with that video, Samantha seemed just exasperated, frustrated, and very emotional. And I thought it was very telling that she did that on her own Instagram without her siblings. So I think she's reached that point, and she said it, that point of desperation where she's now just asking the public, please, please help us.
What do you make of the fact that Savannah Guthrie was alone in that, Betsy, that she didn't have her sister and her brother by her side? What did you make of that?
I thought it was very telling. In these types of situations, very often families start to splinter a little bit. And, when you, and again, I don't know the family. I live nearby, but I don't know them. The brother seems very no nonsense. He's a military guy. He's a pilot. And then the sister Annie, she's a little bit more of a ne'er-do-well, her and her husband. So I think Savannah felt maybe she had to just take the bull by the horns and say, listen, we need the help of the public. They hadn't really asked for that before, and that's what she did.
Now, when you say that she's asking, and you're right, like it seems like in the other ones, she's directing it to these purported kidnappers. And then in this one, she's asking the public, and she seems to be fairly calm in the ask. What do you think has happened since that one on Saturday to here? The FBI saying there's been no continuous communication. I guess the question is, do you think that they have paid? We don't know. Apparently, they didn't pay in the first Bitcoin account, but then, as you probably know, you can set up a Bitcoin account. I think it's like anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes. And then there was a second one. Right, exactly. Yeah. And then there was that second ransom note that came, and that very well may have had a different account number that TMZ didn't get. So I don't bank that they didn't pay something, but what do you think? Do you think that they paid and they're wondering, okay, well, now where's our mother? Or do you think something changed where they said, okay, well, maybe we shouldn't pay?
I'm guessing that something changed and they're finding out that perhaps this second ransom demand was also a hoax, like the first one was, and that is being worked on a different level. Because she did just seem so exasperated. I think she was ready to pay. They were ready to pay.
Yes.
Sure, we'll give you $6 million. Give us our mom. And now she's just utterly frustrated, and you certainly can't blame her. Now,
do you think that when you say the first one was a hoax and the second one, I don't know if they're a hoax or not. I'm not sure. I guess I have to ask you because you're the expert for sure, Betsy, at this. I mean, there were a couple things that they said in the first one. Okay, there's the Apple Watch. There's the floodlight that was knocked out. And then whatever the second one was clearly sent them back to the house, remember? And then they started looking at the sewage system. And then they also...
Oh, absolutely. No, I'm talking about the ransom demands are a hoax, not the kidnapping.
Do you believe the notes? Do you believe the notes are fully a hoax, or do you think there's somebody who's playing games and maybe the motive isn't just money? Like maybe there's some other motive, but the notes may be something legit.
I think that the notes demanding money are wholly separate from why Mrs. Guthrie is missing. That's just my opinion, my experience as a law enforcement officer and with these cases. And I think it's so horrible to give these people hope that they can put money into a Bitcoin account and get their mom back. I don't think that's going to happen. I hope I'm wrong, Rita, but that's how I see it.
Now, you believe it's separate. Why do you believe it's separate? Do you believe that there's nothing to these notes, that maybe it's somebody who could have just seen, Mrs. Guthrie on TV and said she had this? My understanding is they said where the Apple Watch was inside. Like it was located on such and such, and the floodlight, right. This one's broken here, and maybe it's not something that was, wholly visible unless you had kind of been to the house. So do you believe that the notes are not from someone who had anything to do with the crime, or do you believe that do you believe that maybe there was another goal here, that it was revenge for something, that it was a home invasion gone bad? What do you think?
My guess, as far as what happened to Mrs. Guthrie, I do believe it's one of two things. I think it's either a home invasion gone bad, where either she was the target or she wasn't supposed to be there, but wouldn't cooperate with whoever it was. Maybe they wanted her to go to the ATM and take out money, things like that. She fought, maybe hit her head. Remember, we've got her blood on the front steps. There's all those kind of variables. And the other thing, these types of situations also often become familial. So in other words, is there a family member who could possibly be involved in this type of thing? And when we investigate these types of cases, that's one of the first things that we do is start really sweating the family. In other words, talking to the family as soon as we know this person is missing. Separate them. How do you feel about your mom? How do you feel about your mother-in-law? All of these different questions. Get a feel for how everybody is feeling about each other and mom. And, is there somebody in the family who is frustrated with her for any reason? And I'm not sure that happened in this case because of the way information sort of dribbled in.
Yeah, and also, what about polygraph? I mean, I'd ask them to take a polygraph too, Betsy, right? I mean, there's no evidence
Absolutely.
That they've been asked. I mean, I would just to see their reaction. Oh, no, I can't do a polygraph,
Right, absolutely. I mean, there are things that should have happened, but they were delayed in taking Mrs. Guthrie's car. They were delayed in taking the daughter's car, which the mom apparently rode home in after this dinner. And then there was a lot of misinformation. They said that she had gone to dinner at a restaurant with her daughter and son-in-law. Well, now we know that she went to their house for dinner. Just so much misinformation. There was a delay in reporting this case, so that is a problem. There was a delay in getting aircraft in the air to look. It's really just an overall unfortunate situation.
The other thing, Betsy Brantner Smith with the National Police Association, the other big thing, this is a wild report. Fox News, I believe it is reporting that according to their sources, that remember we heard the story that she was supposed to be at church, didn't show up for church, and that's when they notified that there was something wrong. Then the kids got involved and were told, hey, your mom didn't show up for church. And then they went to the house, and soon afterwards, almost immediately, it looks like called 911. Now there's a report out there, and I haven't seen anything, because this is just sort of breaking. This is, breaking fresh news, that apparently a source is telling Fox News that for years, Nancy Guthrie would meet with friends instead, wouldn't go to an actual church, but she would go to like a friend's house and they would watch this stream service from New York City, from Tucson, and it's a church that Savannah, her daughter, goes to in New York. So we're going to the same church service as Savannah. We'll be streaming it. And her friends, maybe because she couldn't get around and maybe the friends had similar problems, physically with their age, that they would all watch it together. So she didn't go to a church, according to this report, if this is true. That's another, why can't we get a straight story, Betsy?
Well, you're absolutely right. And we also have a report that once they figured out she was missing, Savannah Guthrie didn't, first of all, Annie Guthrie didn't call the police, apparently. She's the one who lives there. But Savannah Guthrie called our Arizona Senator, Mark Kelly, who then notified both the sheriff and the police chief, which I'm sure Senator Kelly didn't know if she lived in the county jurisdiction or the city. But that then created this delay as well.
And now, is that true? Do we know if that's true that Savannah called Mark Kelly first?
Yes. Several of our local outlets are reporting that.
That's interesting. So when she got the news, she called Mark Kelly. And what, the sister called Savannah as opposed to 911? Is that what you're telling me?
Apparently, it went through several channels before law enforcement was notified. Again, because we do deal with elderly walkaways frequently, in Pima County. But instead, that's an unfortunate delay.
Oh yeah, that's if indeed right that the sister called Savannah, then Savannah calls the senator, and then the senator calls. I mean, that's a lot of time that's already gone by wasting. Again, maybe they didn't know clearly at first what was going on. But then remember, we heard that the sheriff said that they called 911, it looked like within 7-8 minutes.
Right. And this is the problem that we're having in Pima County. And this is why you have not had a press conference by our sheriff in several days, because I think that he has decided, because he was giving press conference after press conference, hour after hour. And I'm sorry, I'm in the airport.
Betsy, he had time to go to a basketball game on Saturday night. How disgraceful.
He is a season ticket holder, I'm told, for our University of Arizona Wildcats.
That's stunning. Betsy, that is stunning to me.
It is stunning.
That in the height of probably the biggest investigation of his life, the entire country is watching this case, and he should be doing nothing but investigating and getting a few hours sleep. And the rest of the time, leaving no stone unturned, and instead he's at the basketball court. That to me says it all. I know you live there. I don't, so I'm going to say it, Betsy. That's disgraceful. That guy should not be in office. If he can't figure out that an investigation is more important than a basketball game, I'm sorry. Even if it was his kid playing, it doesn't matter.
No, and you're absolutely right. And that is the kind of hubris, unfortunately, we see out of our local sheriff. He is a man who puts politics over public safety. He's done this for decades. I can say this as a resident. And while his men and women are out working their rear ends off, he's going to basketball games and he's playing politics. And I think that now the FBI has told him, Sheriff, stand down.
Yeah, stand down. Betsy, wow, please keep us posted. There are so many twists and turns in this case. We appreciate it. Betsy, thank you.
Thanks, Rita, for having me. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. And everybody, we'll be right back.
Looking for financial insights you can trust?
How do you protect yourself as an investor? What's the strategy?
I think it's really simple. I think you just want to be diversified in your portfolio.
The Payne family brings real-world experience to every conversation.
Well, I think that's the problem right now, is a lot of people that are close to retirement, they're taking so much risks. And if we do get a big sell-off, it could derail their retirement.
Listen to the Pain Points of Wealth on the Red Apple Podcast Network.